Hello everyone. In this video I'm going to show you how to check the requirements for the latest for downloading and installing and running the latest version of Blender, which is 3.4.1. Today the 31st of January 2023. So to find the requirements, go to up here to download, and then up again here to requirements. The two things that we need to check are these two parts. One is the operating system that would allow you to install and run the latest version. And as you can see, for example, for Windows, it starts with 8.1. So if you're running Windows 7, for example, it won't work. As for the hardware requirements, there are minimum requirements and recommended requirements. Don't worry so much about the recommended requirements because these are intended for the professional users of Blender who are able to use the full capacity and functionalities of Blender for amazing, huge projects. As for our own purposes and usage, for obtaining, creating, uploading and 3D models into the virtual worlds like OpenSim, minimum requirements are more than enough. So we need to check that. So if your computer meets these requirements, you can go ahead and download the latest version from the main page. And it'll install and run fine. If your computer doesn't meet these requirements, and please pay special attention to the 64-bit quad-core CPU and the graphic card with 2 GB of RAM, OpenGL 4.3, a minimum of 8 GB of RAM, and that the computer is not 10 years old or older, because I've seen computers that meet some of those requirements very nicely, but they are older generations of those of the technology, and it cannot run the latest version in a good way or at all sometimes. Okay, so if your computer meets the requirements, go ahead and install the latest version. If not, let's go to previous versions. We still can use Blender, but we'll use older versions, and for our purposes they do everything that we will need. So who uses 2.7, or actually the version that we should be downloading and installing is Blender 2.79b. If your computer is 32-bit system, if your computer, which means that it has access only to 4 GB of RAM, and your computer is very old, I mean it's 10 years old or older, then this is the best option for you, or almost the only option for you, 2.79b. If your system is 64, if your computer is running a 64-bit system, but it's an old computer, if you have more than 4 GB of RAM, you can go for 2.8 or 2.9. I would recommend 2.8 so that it runs comfortably and without crashing or anything else. So you click on all previous versions. It takes you to this list, which is a list of all the Blender versions that were ever released, starting from 1. So we are looking for 2.8, and here it is. So if you find the version that you need, you click on it, and it will give you the different files for the different operating system. So find the one for your operating system. So for example, if you're if you're running Windows, go for Blender 2.8 Windows 64, but not the zip file. Go for the MSI. The MSI is the installation file. So once, when you click on it, it will start downloading, and once it's completed the downloading, double click it and then click run, and you're installing like any other application. The same thing with 2.79b. When you click on it, it will start downloading and you go through the same process. Only one thing left for me to say is that there are zip files. These are, if in case you are not interested in installing the program completely, you can actually download a zip file and extract it, even on a flash drive. And that way it is portable, and you can go and run it on any computer that has the requirements or the specifications to run this particular version of Blender. That's it for this video. I hope that you find it easy to download and install, and I'll see you soon in our session. Bye for now.